Ladies and gentlemen, we're back. Another day, another mock draft. This time, 20 people going head-to-head in a 20-man mock. 11 categories. All this and more right after this. Good evening and welcome back to Ball Logic. I am the horse, and joining me this evening, you would never see him any other way. Tin in hand. It is only a Carlton Dry tonight. He's not drinking top shelf. It's Mattrix. Fresh off the back of the Broncos winning the NRL final last week. How you doing?
Oh, I'm just in my element. I'm just excited to win another draft. I won with the Broncos on the weekend. A 20-man just means that there's another 19 people for me to get a better team then. So,
yeah. So that's the shit bloke out of the way. The better bloke in this podcast, I speak of none other than the man that he's come on a little bit this preseason. He did a little bit with the NBA show last year, but he's really starting to sink his teeth in, and you can see that he's loving it. It's Malley. How you doing, mate?
Doing fantastically. I'm glad I made the cut to come on the show this evening. I'm a bit worried about Mattrix because I'm pretty sure no one on the list actually hails from Brisbane, and that's only where the true talent kind of comes from. So unless you can find a Brisbane or at least a Queenslander on there, I think you're in a bit of trouble.
Alex Dukas and Baines very late.
Yeah, Baines very late.
Have a listen to these blokes. They are absolutely entitled to their wrong opinion. But anyway, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to get stuck into a 20-man mock draft tonight. That's right. 20-man, 11 categories. The man himself, Carl, runs a really good ship over at Ball Logic. Sorry, not Ball Logic, Ball Page, where he gets people from all around Australia and even internationally involved in a 20-man league each year. And this year it's running as far as O-League. So you do your quick maths. That's about 100 leagues going at the moment. Malley, you've been a school teacher. You'd know all about maths and adding the 1 plus 1s.
Carry the decimal point. Sounds good to me.
Absolutely. I need to work out how to turn these sounds off.
It's a bit of a different draft, isn't it, Malley? So we're going 11 team. 11 category, 20 man. Just tell us a little bit about your strategy behind, a 20-man draft, and especially, penciling in on 11 categories, because we usually play 9 category. I play a little bit of points. This is the only one here. What do you try and do here?
Well, even Brian Flitty, even blind Freddie can see that we have depth here. We're going a long way. There's quite a distance between a pick and then your next pick, which gives you a lot of time to contemplate what you're going to do. If it's like a game of golf where you do a bad shot, though, it's kind of a bit of a shocker while you're waiting there to take your next shot. Those steps up the fairway as you're going, oh, man, that absolutely stunk it up. Luckily for me, I'm only about 7 meters from my last shot, so I don't really have to think too much. I just get right into it. But, yeah, it is a completely different game than standard 12 team. You're obviously, for me, I'm going with a harder punt because it's really difficult to build a balanced team when, there's 20 different teams available. For sure. I think we've obviously watched a lot of what Kingy's been doing, and he's the kind of guy who punts really hard. He'll punt 4 categories. And I think if you're experienced enough to have a go at something like that, this is the time to do it because you're going to have to punt hard. Mattrix knows that I'm the guy who comes second or fourth every year. And, the odds are even further against me when I'm playing in 20-man.
I'll tell you what, ladies and gentlemen, if Mattrix ever hits you up for a game of golf, I hate this story, but I'm going to tell him, Mattrix, don't ever let him school you into thinking that you've got him. I was out driving him for 17 holes, hitting bombs. I had a few cans in me, and I've gone, Mattrix, last hole, longest drive wins. And he's like, yeah, no worries. So I scorch it down the fairway, and then he just steps up and blasts it past me. So, yeah, he knows that he just turns up when there's money on the line. He doesn't care any other time. So, disclaimer for anyone that wants to play Mattrix in golf, don't do it. Jokic and Wemby, first 2. Before we get into it, boys, where are you drafting from?
I've got the 13th pick in this one. I've got the 13th pick in my normal league that I play with in Carl's league. I've played against you both in those. So a little bit of a surprise there with Luka Doncic at pick 3. I really hate the 13th spot, but I don't mind it. Somebody might fall to me, and then the second pick just being a bit quicker around. Because just remember, if you've gone the first pick and got Jokic in 12-man, you're absolutely cheering. But to be completely honest, in this, your second best player could be the 40th best player. So
yeah, it's tough, isn't it? That you've got to
lucky.
wait so long. Whereabouts you drafting from, Malley?
Oh, I'm one behind. I'm at 14 today, so playing in 3 of Carl's leagues. The only one I got a decent pick in was Keeper 2, which I'm stoked about because that was the second pick. So if I could only pick a top 10 pick in one of the leagues in these 20-man comps that I'm in, it would obviously be Keeper. And then I think I'm, 14th and 15th or 13th or something horrendous. That's about the worst place I feel like drafting at the moment. There's that dead space. That first 8, basically what we're seeing has already played out here, where it's kind of, nearly cut and dry that's going to be what happens. And then and so is Mattrix. We're kind of in the old man area. We're going to have to deal with like a Curry or a KD, like someone, a Harden, who probably might even go earlier than the 13th and 14th. But yeah, God willing, and the river don't rise, I'm going to be able to land maybe a younger body, but I'm not liking the odds.
So let's talk, because in 11 cat, you've got the additional categories that are 3-point percentage and double doubles. So, Matrix, I'll ask you this. Does this increase the value of someone like Sabonis?
Yes, that's great. That's actually really good timing, considering Sabonis is the one that's left here for me. Just double doubles. It's a lot easier. Look, Harden can get 10 assists pretty quickly too, so that's probably my decision here. But Sabonis doesn't kill you in 3-point field goal percentage, nor does he, but he gets that additional category of double doubles. He gets 10 rebounds. Basically every night out. I've got him as the 7th ranked player in this format, so I am stoked to get him with the 13th pick. I've done a bit of the maths, and I've got him ahead of your Trae Youngs and Booker and everybody like that. So I'm stoked to play the format that's been put in front of me, and to get somebody like Sabonis, probably sliding 6 spots by my calculations.
Yeah, delicious. It hasn't really changed, ladies and gentlemen. Jokic at 1, Wemby 2, Doncic 3, Giannis at 4, SGA at 5, so he probably slid a little bit. Davis at 6, Cunningham at 7. I'm picking from 7. Edwards 8, Young 9, Towns 10, Booker, Mitchell, Sabonis, and then Harden. For me, I was expecting Davis to fall to 7. So in my head, and Matrix, yourself and Brano did a really good episode on being sniped and what to do, Malley as well. And for me, I've had to change game plan right from the start. So with Anthony Davis, you're probably looking at more of a defensive type of build. But with Cunningham, you've got to go a different way, don't you, Malley?
Yeah, definitely so. But, as we said, we're playing 11 cats here. I picked up Harden. Matrix just kind of touched on a lot of the advantages that he has. I guess in the double-double game this year, I'd be almost more worried that Harden's going to put 10 points on the board rather than get 10 assists every game. I'm a little worried that he's going to go back to the kind of submissive Harden that works really well for NBA basketball and looks great, as a team player. But it affects him when it comes to fantasy basketball. The 10 assists are going to be easy for him to come by. I hope that he's going to be able to hit some of his threes because there's 3-point percentage obviously in this league, and that's something I've got to be wary of. Sure. But I don't mind that pickup. I think that he's in 9-cat, he's certainly a top 10 guy for me. He's probably that 10th man on the top 10. So I'm pretty happy to get him there at 14.
Steph Curry 15, Durant at 16, Amen Thompson, Matrix. Is that the first surprise at 17, or do you think that's pretty good? And then Şengün at 18.
Oh, look, I'm probably not as high on Amen Thompson as everybody in the world seems to be. I think he's about the 30th best player, and I wouldn't be surprised if he's the 30th to 40th best player. Big big ups from other years, but in this, Armin Thompson probably wasn't going to come back around to Renault there. So yeah, you've just got to take your guy back in what you believe in 20 man, because there's so many picks between your pick. I try not to get too attached to people. I've just taken best available, but yeah, in later picks in this draft, I will find myself reaching for my guys, and I would presume that that's how Renault feels. I think all of us here. I think Cade, honestly, really good there with the 7th pick. I think that he's probably a little bit less, but you've went and got your guy there. Just with doubles, he'll probably struggle to get that. And I've got Harden in my head about the 12th. So that's fine. I was really hoping that Jalen Johnson and probably like a Tyrese Maxey or somebody like that falls to me. But I'm probably just going to grab somebody like a Derek White or something like that if I've got to go somewhere safe in this. What am I, 4 picks away? Is there anyone you're eyeing off in 8 picks while we give Malley a bit of time to do his, Mick?
It's kind of hard, isn't it? So I've got my point guard, so I know that I'm getting points, assists, some rebounds, occasional defensive stats, but he's not great for that. Sometimes his field goal percentage can struggle a little bit because he does chuck up a few shots. So am I looking to sort of solidify the point guard spot, or am I looking to perhaps look at a big who can do a bit of everything, like a Pascal Siakam maybe? It's kind of tough. And again, this is how you've got to go when you're thinking on the fly and being able to pivot. You said it pretty well last year that you've got to be able to pivot and have different moves or be able to go a different way, because inevitably in 20-man leagues, you're going to get sniped more than once.
Yeah, absolutely, mate. Malley's taking his pick, so we've got Mobley. I just can't see the 20th and the first pick on my screen because I'm doing renos on my house and I've got the little screen at the moment.
So the 20th was LeBron James, Jalen Brunson, Jalen Johnson at 22, Maxey at 23, Barnes at 24, Josh Giddey at 25, LaMelo Ball with Steph Curry. Nice little pairing there. James Harden has been paired with Jamal Murray from the Denver Nuggets. Malley, I'm going to ask you, mate. He's been in the league for about 370 years. LeBron James, retirement tour. How do you see this playing out?
Well, as I said on the show the other night, I think I was on with Braino and talking about the fact that the last time we heard from Lakers camp that it was time for LeBron to chill and take a bit of a back seat, that was coming from front office, and that didn't last more than a game from memory. Now that it's coming straight from the horse's mouth and LeBron's kind of pushing this narrative himself, it kind of seems a little bit risky. I am in awe of the size of the cojones on Jay Riley's team. I think that backed with Brunson that early is a bit of a dart throw, but he's obviously got his plan. I love it's not the turn pick, but the pick just before that, Balls Deep 69, a clever name there. Mobley and Johnson, what a pairing. He's setting himself up for success there. And he's obviously going for a rebounds, blocks, 2 guys who aren't anywhere close to a guard's body, but actually do get assists. So that's not off the table for him at the moment. Field goal percentage, not too bad there. I actually like that pickup that he's got there. I've gone with Jamal Murray. I really wanted the 2 picks that went before, talking about 2 picks that went slightly before in Josh Giddey and Barnes, and going with like a punt points build. Giddey, another guy who can land doubles, either the points and rebounds or points and assists. Scotty Barnes can do the same thing and still get me some defensive numbers from Scotty. But I've had to change tack pretty quickly. I thought Murray was good value there. So I'm looking at assists, steals, free throw percentage, 3-point percentage, 3 points made, points. Doubles are looking like they might be off the table for me. Potentially, for sure. We'll see what the next pick does.
Mattrix, you've gone Sabonis into Derek White. So a good defensive guard, for Boston that I actually rate higher than Jaylen Brown this year. I think he's going to be better efficiency-wise. I think we're going to see the best of Derek White this year. You obviously agree taking him that high?
Yeah, and it was probably more. We've done a lot of drafts, and I see point guards dry out pretty quickly, or decent point guards, and it's a long way till my next pick, being 20 man. I've got him just a couple spots above Jamal Murray, and I was really high on Jalen Williams, but I just looked at my build that I've got with Sabonis into Derek White. I'm not punting anything yet. So it just leaves it wide open for me to take the best available with the next couple picks. I don't really have any deficiencies yet. So I can just build on it, keep going, take the best available, and then, grow from there. So to be completely honest, I'm just, it was probably the most boring pick I've ever made. But look, Derek White there in the second round. I'll make some risks later on. So,
yeah, okay. Something's just happened to the draft, but I'll look into what's going on there in the back end. So Derek White, Paolo Banchero at 29. For me, that's probably a little high. Jalen Williams at 30, Chet Holmgren 31, Siakam with Trey Young at 32, Jalen Jackson 33 to pair with Anthony Edwards. I've decided to pair Jaylen Brown with Cade Cunningham. So I am punting turnovers straight away. Unlike you, Matrix, you're punting wins. I'm punting turnovers. Braino's decided to put Turner with Anthony Davis. Bam Adebayo at 36. Morant, 37. Skinny Zion at 38 to put a line alongside Skinny Doncic. I like what Carlin this bet is doing there. He's obviously going for the treadmill. Rob United's put Dash Daniels with Wembanyama, so that's his defensive stocks all sewn up there for me. That's really good. Avdia with Jokic, so another player that can do a bit of everything. How do you see it playing out so far, Mally? No real surprises going on?
No, I'm just in awe of some of these beautiful pairings. As Matrix said, it's probably really this coming round, this third round, which will solidify people's builds, whether they're going for balance, whether they're going for a punt, or whether they're just picking guys that have beautiful faces. I've already talked about how much I like Balls Deep 69's pickups. I really like Mattrix's team. Obviously, he's right next to me in their picks that I would have gone for. I was actually debating whether I went White and completely kind of gave up on points. But then again, this year, he's probably going to get plenty of those. I'm probably thinking of the White from the past. I like the combination there that Ace Raiders put together with Towns and Chet. Maybe Chet a little early, but maybe not actually. I don't mind that there.
That's all right.
He was. It's like the thing is like saying that people go early here, Mally, is like, and the same with Paolo there earlier. Like you weren't going to get him back. So in 20 man, if he's your guy, you do reach, and I'm okay with you reaching 10 spots to get somebody that you believe in. When it comes to this format. So.
I almost disagree and think that this format's the way you don't do it. Like I think in a 12-man you can reach because it's easy to make up for lost ground. And I mean, you're right. What does lost ground look like? Just because I believe that he could be taken later and that there's better people on the board, which is essentially what it comes down to. Means really diddly squat. But I think in 20-man, sometimes you have to play it a bit safe. I don't know. I kind of think the deeper the league, if you went all the way up to 30-man, reaching is very dangerous. I mean, just because you want some guy that badly, you're going to pick him, potentially 20 picks before he's inverted commas due. But yeah, I mean,
what kind of sicko plays 30, man?
What's up?
What kind of sicko plays 30, man?
Oh, well, I don't, and I'm the sickest of the sickos, so someone's out there doing it. You can do it.
All right, so
how'd you go there?
Third round. Wagner.
How'd you go there, Leonard,
I wanted to go Trey Murphy. I think he would have fit my build really well, but decided to go Brandon Miller from the Charlotte Hornets. So, again, scoring alongside Cunningham and Brown. Turnovers are well gone and probably some percentages there as well, but going to try and solidify all those guard stats that I can get there. it's probably time now that I look to solidify some of the bigs that have fallen towards the back end of the draft. Matrix, I want to ask you, Kawhi Leonard at 42, too early, especially given that he won't be playing back-to-backs and that little story that he's got hanging over his head?
No, I think that's a bit of a steal there. I've got him at like 35. I don't really believe in not playing the back-to-backs the way that he kept training through to solidify how it feels to have a postseason and everything like that. I'm not banking on injuries or anything like that. I think Kawhi was a steal there at 42, and probably someone that other people overlooked past that sort of 32 onwards. So, he's a lot better player than some of those other guys selected, I think. So,
Zubac for me, I don't like it in the third round, even in a 20-man draft, Malley. Historically, he's been a top or barely a top 100 player. Last year, he was in the top 50, which is all well and good, but you've got John Collins there now. You've got Brook Lopez. There's plenty of depth there at the center spot, and he was playing 7 minutes more per game last year than what he had in his whole career. How do you see that playing out?
Yeah, it seems a little bit dangerous. It was nice to see what his ceiling looked like. You're not going to get, I don't think anyone's thinking they're going to get a better Zubac than last year. Even if things had stayed the same roster-wise, I think that would have been hard for him to back up. And now, as you said, he's got all these factors that are kind of going against him. You've got to worry about how much of a role they give Lopez, who, was a starting point guard last year playing big minutes. It's not like he's shelved. He's not a DeAndre Jordan, who's like the best years are well and truly behind him, even though, dude, he outplayed Boner the other day. So, anything can really happen. Look, I've got a decision to make here. I probably can't really afford to take another guard with my third pickup. I need to start diversifying position-wise. I've got Randall on my board. I don't really want to take a big yet. I'm not looking for big guy stuff, so I can probably park that and maybe get it later. Murray and Harden aren't too bad as block guys from their position. Randall's kind of sticking out to me because he does a little bit of everything. Porter Jr. Looked really good. I think I'm just going to go with him and hope that, unlike, I know that Harden's going to have a deep season and be competitive. He's not going anywhere unless he gets injured. Same with Jamal Murray. Denver don't do that. So probably I would say that my team has no spice in Harden and Murray. They're kind of a relatively safe picks and a little boring. So I'm mixing it up a bit there. I'm going to go with Porter. I just think out of what I'm seeing around him for what I want, he kind of does it all, and his ceiling's pretty high.
De'Aaron Fox there at 55, Matrix. That's very late.
Yeah, a little bit of a bargain. I'm not sure. He doesn't really get double-doubles nor have a good 3-point field goal percentage. So I really think that's probably just the system that Carl set up in this for this guy to drop a little bit. So, yeah, look, I think Fox is a fine pick there and probably late for 9 category or points leagues, but probably fine there. I really like the Michael Porter pick. I think that he's a top 40 guy in this format when you look at 3-point field goal percentage and everything there, Malley. So, honestly, to fit that build is really nice.
Also, disclaimer for those at home that are watching on YouTube, X, or wherever it is that you may be watching, we are only going to go the 10 rounds tonight. We won't be going the full 14 rounds.
My take on Fox, I actually think that's relatively good value there. I'd say the bigger threats of him is now got a point forward center Wemby, who laid out 7 assists the other day in a handful of minutes. He was ironically, he was basically the closest thing they had to a guard out there. I think Lindy Waters was the next closest thing to an actual guard. That was the biggest lineup I've ever seen in my life. Yeah. So I don't expect that that's going to be the regular for Wemby, but it's just nice to see that it's another thing that he can do. I guess the bigger threat for Fox is he's got 2 young bucks behind him in Stephon Castle and Harper. So I don't think Fox is for the now and there for the future. I think he's still obviously the second best guy on the team. So I think he's going to get plenty of run. The injury, I can't see that holding him out for too long. So it's not like, you're losing weeks. That's another thing in Carl's league. There's no IR spots. So anyone listening who doesn't play in one of those leagues needs to know that too. I'd say that'll mean that DeJounte Murray, Kyrie Irving, Edie, these guys are all going to go much later just because you're blocking up a spot with those guys. Not only are you getting no value, but you're also holding someone in a spot that you should be getting something from.
100%. I like that explanation there, mate. For those that are listening on audio after this is done, from Brandon Miller at 47, we've gone Desmond Bain, Nikola Vucevic, who I think that might be a little bit high. Yes, I know you're listening, Carl, but don't like it there. Austin Reeves, Jared Allen, Laurie Markkinen, Zach LaVine, Porter. His podcast and the way that he's going about exhibiting himself, he should be top 5, really. He's adding a bit of spice to the NBA landscape for the start of this year. Rudy Gobert, Jalen Duren, Jalen Green, Phil Unfiltered, picking up him in the 3rd round. Isaiah Quickly, Darius Garland with that injury dropping a little bit to 60. Alex Sarr at 61. Peyton Pritchard at 62. Julius Randle and the Thompson brothers find a home. Amen and Osar on the same team. Osar goes at pick 64.
Yeah, I don't hate that. I chose Levine, which I think was a little bit of a steal without being a sexy pick. I think that in this format, it can probably be a top 35 guy. And like, I know that there's a bit of a stigma around him that he doesn't play a lot of games, but played 69 games last year. So in Sacramento, I'm not seeing anybody. Yeah, giggity. I'm not seeing anybody really out there to take it. Oh, fuck, I was really hoping Kristaps Porzingis came back around.
Yeah, me too. Yeah.
Between with Levine.
I would have got him if he didn't.
This is just one of those reasons, like in this league, where you can't wait for somebody to come around for you, because it just doesn't happen very often. But you have a chat about your pick, Malley, while I delve into my my charts and shit.
Yeah,
he looked really good today.
Yeah, that might be a little bit of preseason hysteria, me picking Buzelis, but it's a team that aren't going anywhere. I don't know if anyone's told Chicago that yet. But really, the future is Buzelis on that team and White. I think Giddy's a placeholder and Vooch is at long for the red and white. So I'm quite happy to pick him up there. I would have liked to get Porzingis and then just been done with centers because that's not the things. I don't need a center's advantages, and Porzingis would have done the things that I really need, which is threes. 3-point percentage is great for him. Double doubles are probably a bit harder, but 3-point percentage as well. He's a great pickup in this format, and that he suits that team perfectly. Like, if you're going to go 3 guards in a row, then you might as well follow that up with Porzingis, who's a giant guard without the giant guard in the shooting sense. Obviously, he's not a playmaker, but I like that there. I like the picks after. So after Porzingis, I picked up Buzelis. You picked up Hartenstein. I like that. I kind of feel like your team now, Mattrix, whether you think it or not, is kind of starting to lean punt points. Maybe not. Sabonis doesn't get a lot of them. White probably will. Yeah, speak on that if you want.
Maybe free throw percentage is kind of what I was thinking. Like, Sabonis isn't a bad free throw percentage shooter, but like, you've got, when it starts with a 6 in Hartenstein as your 4th biggest player, if you had to punt anywhere, that's probably where I'm leaning towards now.
Yep. This 4th pick as well, even if I'm leading heavily into a punt, like my one's basically it's turning out to be a 4-category punt: field goal percentage, points, rebounds, and blocks. Maybe points I can snag every second week, but it's certainly not one of my strengths. I don't even know where I was going with that. No idea. What was I talking about? I just started looking at my page and I completely faded. Anyway,
don't know.
Oh, sorry. I know what I was going to say. The fourth round is sometimes the best round, I think, in this midsection here to take a bit of a safe bet or a guy who does a little bit of everything. I like that in an Anunoby. I like that in a Bridges, the Miles Bridges. I like that in your pickup of Hartenstein. I like that in Asar Thompson. Like, I think this is the round where you haven't really got those one category specialists yet, but you also don't have the do-it-all guys that you had in the first 3 rounds. So I really like this kind of sense of picking someone like those names that I mentioned who just keep the cup filling up across the board.
Matrix, we're getting to halfway through this draft right now, and particular builds are starting to take shape. And by now you should know if you are going to punt, which way you're going to go. But how important is it to pick someone that fits your team and the way you're going versus picking the best available and potentially looking at trading during the season?
Well, I think, especially in these leagues, it's vetoed by the community. So you need to know the league you're in. We've played in this league a little while, and if you've won a league, they literally veto everything you do. So that's really, really important. But if you're good at sliding in people's DMs, having a chat about, I need to build my free throw percentage. How about I give you some blocks because I'm actually punting that to fix my free throw percentage. Can you get a trade? It's probably more down to your personality a little bit because there's 20 people to get out there, slide in their DMs and start to make deals. If you're cool with sitting down there while you and the missus is watching a romantic comedy and sliding in some DMs of a heap of sweaty gentlemen out there drinking Coors Lights, then honestly, just take the best available and trade and get on the trading block and get out there and build yourself a good team. There's 2 ways I think this league's a one: drafting great or making 40 trades. With 20 people, there's going to be a heap of different angles to go. But I think making 5 trades isn't going to do it if you're not drafting best available.
Coors Light? That's the biggest thing I took out of that.
Yeah, it's light in carbs. It's low in carbs, not in alcohol.
Yeah, right.
I'll talk on. I want to talk more on what Matrix is doing, but I'll give you a chance, Horse, to actually talk about the drafts. I mean, that's what we're doing.
You talk.
No, go on because we're going to get too far behind.
Okay, so where are we? We finished with Osar Thompson. Sorry, 64, 65. Jakob Patel goes to Greyman. Kristaps Pingus goes at 66. Mattis Pizzalis to Malley at 67. Isaiah Hartenstein to Matrix at 68. Joel Embiid goes at 69. Nice. Brandon Ingram, 70. Bridges, 71. Hero slips to 72 with that injury not being ready to start the year. Williams, Klingon, I've taken in my build. Poole, Anunoby, Claxton, Okongwu, Kobe White. Bridges goes at 70. No, that's 80. Jalen Suggs at 81. Sorry, RJ Barrett, 82. Johnny Collins, that's probably his ceiling at 83 there. Josh Hart at 84 to Flanders. DeMar DeRozan, 85. And Brano is up next, and I'm hoping he doesn't take my boy.
Well, I like Ayton there from Brano, actually. Ayton was fresh out of my queue, whereas I'm not that high on Ayton. I know a lot of people want to take him in the 60s. I think that's really nice. And he started to look a bit more aggressive in his last preseason game. So,
is that why LeBron's retiring? Because Ayton's playing with the Lakers now?
Yeah, probably. He knows he's going to get less touches.
Yeah. Malley, draft aside here, how are the Lakers looking defensively to you? So we see a lineup of Doncic, LeBron James, Austin Reeves, we'll say DeAndre Ayton, and Marcus Smart maybe in the starting 5?
Yeah, I guess for them, all their defensive capabilities are basically benched. Marcus Smart, they've got Jared Vanderbilt as well, two guys. I mean, Vanderbilt the other day was like 3 steals and a couple of blocks or something like that. Clearly, he didn't have half the Lakers there with him. But yeah, they've got the capability to run that lineup out when they need it. But I think what they're planning on doing with a Luka to a degree, Ayton, and with LeBron is just getting that far out ahead of people that they can't be chased down and they don't have to play defense. And if they do get caught up, they throw out Marcus Smart, they throw out Vanderbilt, and they go, "Can you guys just like stop the bleeding and kind of go from there?"
Yeah. So Ayton goes to Brainerd 86, Nemhard. I've been very high on this preseason, 87, and honestly, that's probably about right. I don't think you'd take him any earlier there. Simon, from Boston, 88. Storm and Norman, your man, Matrix, at 89. Draymond at 90. Kevin Porter Jr., 91. Christian Brown, 92. Matrix takes Cameron Johnson at 93. Please explain.
Yeah, so I had 3 people in my queue: Norman Powell, Christian Brown, and I was left with Johnson. Especially in something that 3-point percentage is taken into account. I think that he does get a little bit of a bump. 39% for somebody that hits 3 a game is elite. You look at somebody like Brandon Miller, and that's about 35% to hit similar sort of numbers. Look, whereas he's not the best passer and not the best rebounder, he doesn't really hurt me anywhere. I'm not too worried about his free throw percent at this rate. But yeah, man, like Cameron Johnson seems as safe as any, and I think I'm going to have to take my risks later on in this draft. I'm not taking anybody that looks like they're going to have an injury, because that's honestly, you're going 10 players deep, 200 players deep. That's 10% of your team that could be injured with no IR. I'm somebody that really takes risks with injured players, as you would have seen in other episodes, but I'm just not willing to do it in this format with no IR. So I've just gone some really safe. I know Cameron Johnson missed a lot of games last year, but like realistically, there's no real reason why he missed those games. He's just a 3-point shooting small forward, power forward. I'm not going to read too much into that.
Yep, Tamani Kamara to you, Malley, at 114. Really like that. But before we talk about your man, let's talk about the bloke that just went at 117, Shaden Sharp and Andrew Wiggins before him. Contract year in Utah, Walker Kessler, Matthew Alley. What do you think?
I don't know what his future is going to be like. He is the kind of guy that he fits certain builds, and I think the build that Reynolds T in there, that is a perfect pickup. I think he got value not only in isolation in a vacuum, but he also got value looking at the rest of his team. So he's got Amen Thompson, he's got Barnes. What a great complementary kind of couple there. Duran, Thompson, the other Thompson. So he's got the Thompson stack. He just needs Clay to finish it off. And then Walker Kessler, who basically gets rebounds, he gets field goal percentage, and he gets blocks. And that's basically what this guy needs. I'm happy. Well, I'm actually a little bit concerned about a team like Reynolds, because I think he's going to give me a hard time, because the things that well, actually, to be fair, the things that I'm punting are the things that he's kind of strong on. So it'll be interesting. These sway categories like points, maybe that I'm not really strong on, might be the make or break when I come up against Reynolds there. But yeah, I love that team
for sure. Stephon Castle at 118, Tobias Harris 119, Devin Vassell at 120, Jaden McDaniels 121, Tari preseason Matrix 122. He's starting to make a little bit of noise this preseason. Is that where his value is, or do you think drafting him at 122 is his ceiling?
Oh, I mean, like, he's got the talent of a top 100 player, but like, I know there's been some injuries, but you just look at a team that just added KD. Obviously, there's people that expect Şengün to be a second round guy looking at this list. Yeah, I'm just not sure if there's just too many mouths to feed in Houston. Like, we're starting to think that Reed Shepherd has a bit of value and that too. I don't know. Like, I've never been a Tari Eason guy, not because I haven't seen the talent, just because I haven't seen the opportunity. So yeah, I'm going to be staying away from him. So look, Tari Eason, yeah, definitely a talented guy, and like he's definitely went safe with a Tobias Harris before, and then you can get a bit risky with Tari Eason, but yeah, it's not really a sexy pick, is it?
Boys,
No.
I'm in a bit of a pickle here because
Ooh.
I wanted to try and rebuild my points and kind of be semi-competitive in that to build on what I think Porter and Murray will be able to do and the potential of Harden. And then I had Mathurin in my queue who went. Great free throw percentage guy, awesome points, more so this year. And then the really last opportunity, who knows what Paul George is going to do, was Cam Thomas, and he's now went. So I got to pivot again here. I really probably need to get some assists sorted to at least bump that category up because Harden's doing a lot of the heavy lifting in my team. Jaden Ivey might do a little bit of that, but I think I'm going to have to, and this is a weird pick. I reckon Nikola Jovic is going to probably do a little bit of that this year, especially because they're somewhat point guardless, even when we get Hero back. He's not a true point guard. He's not known for his assist capabilities. It's been nice to see what Jovic is doing. I feel like I've just basically got the Jovic on three teams in Buzelis, Kamara, and Jovic there. They're the same dude. They just play for different teams. I've just got like the three different flavors of them. If only I had Tari Eason, I would have basically completed the set, probably strengthened my steals there, but probably knocked down some of those other counters. I think I have to wave goodbye to points now. That's not going to be what I get from Buzelis, Kamara, and probably Jovic. Assists, I don't know. The only other guys I could really see there were Holiday, and who knows what he can do, what's kind of left in the tank for him. Shepherd, I did see D'Lo, but even that's not really. He's more of a gunner, but I thought about Beal as well, but then I didn't like having Beal and Harden in my first 5 or 6 picks because there'll be weeks where just weeks where they don't get games. I think in speaking of stacks, I think in 20 man it's probably a dangerous game to play because if you have 2 guys from the same team in your top 6 guys and they have a 2-game week, you're like, what do you do, man? Like you nearly got to like give that one away.
Pump the week. Yeah,
it's just too hard. Especially when you don't have probably a lot of flexibility to even work the waiver wire. I don't know.
Interesting. Matrix, you've taken Jaden Ivey with your next pick.
Yeah, my heart jumped in its chest when Malley mentioned him there because I just think that he was perfect for my build. Still honestly hitting 2 threes a game at 40%. 17 points per game, gets 4 assists, and honestly just fits perfectly. I'd be really surprised if, health aside, he's not a top 100 player this year that I'm taking in the late 120s. Really excited that Ivy slid to me there. So
Santi Aldama, actually, we'll go through the rest of the picks first. Naz Reid at 129, 130. Herb Jones, 131. Malik Monk, 132. Aaron Gordon. Drew Holiday next. And your boy I've decided to take at 134, Matrix. Santa Aldama. You're a big Memphis fan. Not that many people know that in the community. But no Jaren Jackson Jr., no Ja Morant, no Brandon Clark, no Zach Edey before Christmas. What can we expect out of someone like Santi Aldama?
Top 100, even touching top 80 while the injuries are there. Honestly, his floor is 120, playing 24, 25 minutes a night. You're having a look at the same chat I am, and he comes straight out of my queue, and I know a lot of other people are saying that I'm sniped by Aldama being taken. I think he's been undervalued in drafts at the moment. And I do like to mention the I'm not going to say little man because he's 7 foot tall, but the men that aren't that mentioned. And I think that you can win fantasy drafts when you're playing against casuals by getting players from teams like Memphis and Detroit and those games that you won't see on, we're in Australia, so on KO, that you won't see on all these other formats. They'll seem to reach for Lakers and Clippers and blokes like that. But, nobody's watching Portland games. Nobody is watching Memphis games. And I know I never miss a Memphis game. And yes, Sandy Aldama has been a little stalwart in the team for the last couple of years and had an unreal Eurobasket as well. So,
Want to run through some picks there, Horsey?
Yeah, we could do that. So Drew Holiday at 1. What would that be? 133. I took Aldama at 134. Bradley Beal to Brain Talks Ball at 135. Paul George. Geez, the glory days of Paul George are long gone, aren't they, Malley? At 136.
Yeah.
It's just a knee scrape that scares you, doesn't it?
Yeah, I guess he has been really that consistent with games played for such a long time. And for those that have watched Ball Logic in the past and have listened to some of the things, not all of the things that I do say, for me, the best ability is availability. And the likes of Paul George and Joel Embiid, they don't give you that. And you've got no IR in this league. So you've got to be really careful with where you're drafting these guys.
Isn't it also scary when you pick up someone who is the last of their draft class? Like, that as a badge that you wear on your chest is also fairly frightening. Like, you're essentially an extinct species, just like out there, just trying to do the best you can. And I mean, it's an interesting team he's got there.
Good work to him, though. He's still getting paid 50 mil for doing sweet fuck all. So well done. Podcast P. Kalal Ware at 137. Carlton Carrington, 138. Bilal Kolabali, 139. And Lickiner Knuppel at 140 has taken Keegan Murray. Justin Herbert, light the beam. I'll ask you this, Matrix. Kyler Murray. Not Kyler Murray, sorry.
Calamari?
Keegan Murray. I'm thinking NFL right now.
You're thinking of bloody fish and chips?
Fish and chips, mate. He would be so much better and so much more fantasy relevant not on the Sacramento Kings for me.
Well, I think that he's the kind of guy that could request a trade. I mean, they just keep bringing in guys that do his thing while Sacramento try to stay relevant. And I don't want to be a dick, but they kind of fail at it. Look, Keegan Murray could be a great fantasy asset given the opportunity, and he's the type of guy that you can take in this area and be really happy with. But I mean, tell me that he's not as good as Miles Bridges or somebody like that if he was in Charlotte. Like, great player, just poor opportunity, which I'd rather have talent, I suppose. So look, perfectly fine in this area, but it's a bit gross.
I think so. It's like that Family Guy moment where he goes, do you want the speedboat or the mystery prize? He goes, I'll take the mystery prize. I hope it's a speedboat. That's kind of what they did with Keegan Murray. It's like, we need to, we need some size. We need some shooting ability, like someone who can defend okay.
Yeah, for sure. 141.
While you still got Keegan Murray, they're just rotting and wasting his youth. It's sad to see.
Mm-hmm. Cam Whitmore, 141. Evis Missy, 142. Kyle Filipowski, 143. Isaiah Jackson, 144. We saw he got the start today for the Indiana Pacers. Reed Shepherd, 145. There's a bit of upside there in Mr. Shepherd. Aaron Naismith, a 3-point sniper from last year's playoffs at 146. I've taken D'Angelo Russell at 147. Derek Lively, his Mavs teammate, at 148. Apparently, he's grown 2 inches, Malley, and he is now officially listed at 7'100". Pretty impressive, hey?
Yeah, I think it's just his hair. They need to push that down a bit. Yeah. Once per draft, I better tickle the commissioner's pickle and say that I think that the CJ McCollum pickup's masterful. This is a guy who went for 40 points playing on a team that was only slightly better in New Orleans, and now he's in Washington where anything goes. I know he's part of the old unit there, and I don't know if they're going to play the old squad and the young squad on different nights. But there's absolutely no risk in taking him where Kamish is taking him. Like a good pick up there by Carl, who really could have taken him in the round before, and then swapped Gordon around and maybe got him there. But yeah, I think that's a nice pickup.
Beautiful. So that was the commish at 149, 150. Kelly Oubre Jr., Jordan Kuminga, Cum Buckets at 151. Zach Eady
as a center.
As a center, power forward, center, flex.
When has he ever played center?
Never.
Even on that team, he can't get at center.
Eady, sorry.
I'm getting extremely nervous because I still haven't picked up a center. And in this round, there is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 already taken. Ironically, the perfect center, this has just worked out nicely for me. I didn't plan it this way, but the perfect center for my build is just sitting there right in my face. And his name is Bobby Portis. I like Bobby Portis because we've seen what he can do without Giannis without Giannis or playing without Lopez. And this year, I think with the team basically worse around him and him being the Milwaukee MVP, I like his chance to get some decent points. His percentages are not too bad. He gets rebounds because he just is like monsters his way around in the paint. I just like that just worked out nicely. None of the other centers, there's certainly better centers being taken in this round. Robinson's probably better. Edie's certainly better. Lively, potentially better. Jackson, better. Filipowski will be better in the future. Messi, who knows what's going to happen with him. But Portis is the perfect guy for my team.
Nice. I like it. You've taken Mitch Robinson, Malley. Matrix.
I did not. I took PJ Washington. But
sorry. Yeah, I'm a little bit behind. Sorry.
Yeah, but like 1.6 3 points made. I know that he played a lot of minutes last year, and I'm not sure he plays the same amount of minutes with some of the guys that they've brought in. But honestly, he's kind of always been really good. Seven rebounds a game. Still manages to get a block. Hits those threes. At this point in the draft, I was stoked to get him. My queue was getting emptied a little bit earlier on. I really like Lively just from the fact that I think that he's going to play more minutes than PJ Washington. I think PJ Washington is an injury away from playing the amount of minutes that I want to be that top 120 player. But look, right now, when you're looking in the 150s, I'm stoked to have him there. So.
Yeah, did anyone see Lonzo Ball's stat line against his previous team?
No, what happened?
No, fill me
in 12 minutes, he got 1 assist.
And that was it?
Yeah, or was it a rebound? He got 1 of something. It was just nothing. He got absolutely nothing. Yeah, 1 assist.
Is it too early to say he got just as many assists as what his dad has legs?
Yeah.
Yeah,
so I thought they were going to... if you look at what happened today, they put Jalen Tyson as shooting guard, and they played Don Mitchell as point guard, and then put Lonzo off the bench, and he suffered, man. 1 assist. How do you accidentally not get a rebound?
Do you know who impressed me today? And he's never going to shoot perfect from 3-point range again, but Craig Porter Jr., he's quite a sleeper when we're talking fantasy, and usually not 144 deep with your usual 12 rounds, 12 team setups. But when you're talking 200 deep, you've got to be active on your waivers, and you're one that uses all their waivers all the time, Malley. So has Craig Porter Jr. ever come across your plate, and have you utilized his services when they've got the Darius Garlands of the world that have been injured?
Yeah, I have in the past. It's just a shame that you're right. If he was in Brooklyn right now, if he got that pickup instead of Bufkin, he could just rule the world over there.
Yeah,
but unfortunately, he's on a championship aspirational team, so it's probably not going to happen. I was I couldn't be more in love with the team that I am with Balls Deep 69, but he's gone and thrown it all away for me by picking up Boner. I know that he's going to get plenty of opportunity in Philly with playing behind Embiid. But just, man, these first two games, like the first game he basically fouled out, which is his story from Summer League. Like he essentially, in Summer League, they get the bonus personal fouls.
Yeah.
That dude really pushed it to the limit. He had like whatever a max allowance is. He had like fucking 9 or something like that.
Yeah, I think nine is maximum in Summer League. Matrix,
yeah,
is that
and
right?
then in the second game, he got absolutely outplayed by DeAndre Jordan. Like, that's not the right start. Summer League, he looked shite. And then, his first two games out, man, I don't know. Opportunity there, but just can't seem to do anything. By the time he figures it out, Embiid will probably come and play, and that'll be it.
Probably. Yep. Where were we? So Keontae George went after Mitch Robinson at 156, 157. TJ McConnell, I like that. DeAndre Hunter, a little sleeper there from Cleveland, 158. The stiffy himself, Adem Bona, at 159, and Dan Gafford at 160. Bit of value there. The nipple at 161. Keontae George, 162. Colin Sexton, a little bit of value there, especially how LaMelo Ball tends to get hurt every single season at 163. Cassim Wallace, 164. JORDANCLARKSON at 165. Sammy Hauser at 166. And it's back to you, Mally. I won't make you talk while you're looking at
That's all right. I'm just making a decision here. I can speak through it. I've either had to pick up Dennis Schroeder, who I know can get assists, or another guy who I've always been huge on. I've just been a really big Ty Jerome fan. Like, I was probably one of the first guys to really see the value in him. Hey, Matrix. Yeah, I've always
you had him lined up next in your Matrix.
No, he sits here and he spouts Scottie Pippen Jr. is better than him, and then he goes and snipes me on him after I hit him with the facts, the cold hard facts, all the Twitter posts, all the Instagrams, all the stat based things that Mally loves that he could not back himself with. Seriously,
it sounds like loser talk, doesn't it, Mally?
Why you make your pick there, mate? Because you're running out of time. I do respect that you saw it coming and I didn't. I have to eat my humble pie there. I thought it would be Pippen, and Ty Jerome got the call up today. He played really well. The hardest thing I reckon I've done in the last month was watch the what is it on Instagram where you ask for what's the button where you like connect someone to it, whatever it is, like where you share the post. What's it called?
Sharing a post.
Yeah.
Well, where I had to accept having his post on my page.
Collaborating.
Yes, thank you.
Yeah,
and I had to collaborate with him on his Ty Jerome post. Man, I've never bitten into a lemon so sour.
Oh, dear. But saying that now, you've just given him satisfaction live here on YouTube and X. So you've really just done yourself over twice.
If he's going to be sniped, I think that was the way he wanted to be sniped.
Good.
To be quiet,
like smugly sniped.
Yeah.
I'm now going to press the swear word button when we upload this to YouTube, so that's great.
Sorry, mate.
For those listening in, Sammy Hauser, then Ty Jerome it was at 167, Jabari Smith Jr. 168, Ace Bailey 169, Scottie Pippen Jr. 170, Bryce Sensabaugh 171. Wendell Carter Jr., he's fallen a little bit. He's just a man that does everything pretty well, but nothing overly great at 172. It's Dry Eyes next at 173, and then my pick. I better have a look.
Did you say this is going for 10 picks?
10 picks. So we've got 2 more rounds after this, mate.
Why is it going to 14 on here? Is that just...
Yeah, it's just the way that's set up, mate.
It's just...
Like, okay, 2 more picks, so it's gamble time.
Your autism's kicking in. It's fine, man.
You'll be fine.
Yeah, I'm clicking away over here. Can't sit still on my chair. I think that's ADHD, if anything.
I think that's me. Actually, you're just explaining me.
Neither you or I can stay in the middle. Podcasting with Braino, his head doesn't move. He's like in one of those neck braces. Me, I'm watching the thing back. I'm over here. I'm like, you see up my nose. You see cutting shapes. Yeah, it's ugly. It's ugly viewing.
I like it. I'd pay for it. But anyway, Matrix.
Love that Querta pickup.
Yeah, Quetta. Nemesis. Quentin Grimes. He's into a contract year now. He's gambling on himself, and he's taken a 1-year deal there at Philly. And with no Grimes, no George, no Embiid to start, it could be wheels up Quentin Grimes there at the 76ers. Scoot Henderson next at 177. Matrix.
Good.
Is that because of injury or yeah?
Yeah, it's because of injury. He'll be better at that than that when he's playing. Quentin Grimes has been in my queue for a little while, as well as Keon Ellis and Isaiah Collier, but I just ended up going Jabari Smith. I just think, to be completely honest, I don't think KD's going to play a full season. We're already starting to see the injuries roll out in Houston. He will just fit that role as that stretch 4. If not, I think he is the 6th man in Houston. I just want to pick up those minutes, whereas, look, I know Queta's good and I know Grimes is good, but the second that Paul George is playing, like, you start to see Grimes minutes drop, even with Yabusele not signing. And look, I think they're going to chuck Edgecombe in before Grimes, even if I think Edgecombe's going to be worse than Grimes. Like, I don't know. I just took the opportunity when I saw it sitting there. So
yeah.
And Dennis Schroeder, I loved probably 10 picks earlier, but like just really poor for my build. So yeah, I'm just going to let him go through to the keeper.
Yeah. Where are we? Wendell Carter was at 172. Zachary Ricochet, 173. Jay Huff, 174. Nemes Keta, 175. Quentin Grimes, 176. Scoot Henderson, 177. BJK Edgecombe, 178. Dennis Schroeder, 179. And Musa Diabate, one of the very few Charlotte centers, at 180. 181 here. Davion Mitchell, 182. Jalen Wells, another Memphis man, Matrix. How much does he play to start, and how much does Kentavious Caldwell-Pope affect him?
It doesn't. I actually think that they'll start beside each other to start the year, especially with how many injuries they have there. I expect sort of. I actually don't think I expect them both to play like that wing spot. And then when Cedric Coward becomes ready, I start to see the minutes drop a little bit. But I genuinely think Jalen Wells' success last year in the starting lineup is one of the reasons they were cool with letting Bane go. Like, I'm sitting here with a Bane jersey at home, so I was pretty disappointed with it. But when you see that you got Coward, when you see that you still got Kentavious Caldwell-Pope, despite being on a pretty poor contract and all the picks that we got there, I'm okay with the trade. So Jalen Wells will be good. I think he impacts winning more than he impacts fantasy. But yeah, at this point in the draft, like, he's going to be playing starter minutes. So wheels up.
Jalen Wells next after Davion Mitchell. Kyle Kuzma finally goes in round 9, pick 3 to Carlin's bet. Igor Demin to Flanders. Obi Toppin. DeJounte Murray goes, oh, shit, this is me. Let's go a little bit of upside here. And Chris Boucher, who has been historically quite good off the bench at Toronto. Malley, I know I've got him in my team. He's probably not going to make it to me when the real 20-man drafts come through. Where do you see his value this year? Do you think he's draftable in 20-man?
Oh, absolutely. It's a team that has nothing in the way of depth. He's a seasoned player. He also has a high ceiling. We've seen more than a handful of games where he's gone absolutely bananas in Toronto. They weren't about having him there as a future. I think that was a fair trade. I think they didn't lose anything by getting rid of him. But he'll play a year there in Boston. He's going to put together good stat lines. He can trebuchet himself a couple of threes. I think his block stays behind him. But yeah, he's all right. Like, I wouldn't have mind picking him up. Horford was the one that I really wanted because, again, perfect pick for my team. That when I'm not worried about blocks and I am worried about, well, actually saying not worried about blocks, Horford got 3 blocks in 11 minutes or something.
Yeah,
He was
not much
he was
today.
on that Wemby line though, which was
he almost
pretty
looked
impressive.
fresh, didn't he?
Yeah. A little worrying that they didn't put him in the starting lineup. But yeah, I don't know. He wasn't in the starting lineup at plenty of times. In I was going to say Golden State, in Boston. And he's still got the jersey on. How did I stuff that up in Boston? But he does well in that role too. Like, he doesn't need a lot of minutes. I like that pick. Good job, Dry Eyes.
Nice. Where else are we? Klay Thompson went to the commish. Not sure whether that was an auto pick or not. Caruso, Jeremy Grant.
Klay Thompson's fine this deep.
Yeah. Jeremy Grant, Matrix. Does a lot of things okay, not sensationally. Where do you see his value? This is okay here in the 9th round?
This is fine. Just expect him not to be playing come February, which is, completely fine for how deep we are in this draft. I feel like you're throwing some darts at the dartboard here. I hate LeVert. I don't mind Grant. I like Klay Thompson and some of those picks. I've got some unsexy picks coming up too. I've just taken Harry Barnes over Rui Hachimura. Completely fine. You know that he's going to play 30 minutes a night, and some nights he's going to score and some nights he's not. But he shoots above 50%, hits a couple threes a game and scores, 10 or 12 points a game, while not really doing much he does a lot of cardio, I suppose, out there. But at this point in the draft, you just said about availability, he's going to play 30 minutes a night when he's healthy. And he's going to be a bit of a filler in this San Antonio team. So yeah, it's blokes like Rui Hachimura and Harry Barnes that I'm looking at. I can't see anyone that I could really hit it out of the park with. I see your Smiths, your Jalen Smiths, and your Hendrickses. Whereas, they could be top 150 players, and Yabusele I really rate as a player, but I'm not sure I see the pathway for them to be any better. So I'll just take some mid players and see what happens.
I can't. Every time I needed a Jalen, so I picked Jalen Smith. I can't ever unsee the meme where they put the picture of him next to that weird background character fish from SpongeBob SquarePants. I don't know if you've seen that comparison, man. I can't unsee it every time I see his little dorky face. But my reason for drafting Smith is we know Vooch isn't long for the world in Chicago, and then Smith will be there with his hand raised. I know they've also got Collins there, Zach Collins, who could challenge him. But I won't hold on to him for long. Let's just say that much. I'll lick my finger and put in the breeze and see which way the wind's kind of turning. And if it doesn't look good, there's going to be heaps of value still on this waiver wire. I've still got 1, 2, 3. I got 7 guys still left in my queue that I'd be just as happy to take there. And we've got 1 round to go. I don't think all 7 of them are going to go in these 20 picks, but not before I get my next one in 7 or 6 myself. So
Brook Lopez very late, but before we get to him, Caris LeVert, Harrison Barnes, Jalen Smith, Taylor Hendricks, Yabusele there, Keon Ellis, Sohan, Gary Trent Jr., Brook Lopez, and now we're into our last round. So Jared McCain, injury-wise, probably won't be ready for the start of the year, but upside Matrix or no thanks?
There's upside if Paul George is, not playing and, they don't really believe in Grimes. I still think Grimes is a better player than McCain, but, he tore that UCL in his thumb. He won't be right to start. So, I would be staying away from him, but, I just see you've only got 10 players, so you need to start getting some points, runs on the board. I hate starting a season 0-4 or or am waiting for people to come back, especially when it's somebody like Jared McCain. I'd just rather get some productivity out of someone. Like I'm seeing like a Keldon Johnsons and Chris Middletons and bloke like that, which will still be, I suppose, playing basketball, whereas Jared McCain won't. So
That's fair. Who else we got here? Ryan Corkbrenner. I really like here in the last round by Bulls Deep 69. Jonas Valanciunas is there to fill with his last pick. Terrence Mann. They're the point guard, shooting guard, small forward, flex in Brooklyn. Rui Hachimura. Last pick before your pick, Malley. How do you see yourself finishing this one off?
Oh, I'm not mucking around, mate. I've got my finger poised over the add button. It's past my bedtime. I've got to get going. So, yeah, if Joss Gans is a German man, yes, he hasn't picked the one I want. I will take this man here, potential starter. There's not a lot of those left here. A jack of all trades, master of none. Chicago kind of break glass in case of emergency type dude. I don't like that I now have 3 Chicago players, but again, less of a concern when they're not 3 of my top 6. These are last round kind of guys. Mattrix knows me better than anyone. He knows that anyone basically who came after Jovic is fair game for just getting cast aside. And yeah, I'll take him if I find someone better on the waiver wire, because each year there's always someone sitting there who's going to come good in that first week.
I thought you were going to get spicier, mate.
No, well, you do know I like a joke pick with my last one, with the understanding that I never keep the guy I pick last, so I just don't really care who I pick up because they're never sticking around for more than 2 days. So I usually try and pick someone funny. But, this is serious times, mate. We're getting pretty close to the real deal. Got my first draft in 2 nights' time, so I've got to start limbering up. I can't forget who I am and accidentally start trying to be a funny bloke when it's when there's money on the line.
Yeah, that's fair.
Because you're not that funny.
Yeah, exactly right. And I don't have much money, so it's a tough choice.
You picked Chris Middleton with your last pick, Matrix.
He's a basketball player that could play basketball. Honestly,
but just doesn't want to.
I saw some Washington players go earlier. I legit think Chris Middleton has a little bit more upside. Is he going to be, injured? Yeah, probably. But yeah, I had blokes like Jock Landale, D'Anthony Melton, which is still a bit injured, and Lonzo Ball. I just sort of got worn off by Lonzo Ball with that stat line today. So yeah, just went with Chris Middleton, fitted my team even off last year's, I suppose, stats or negative stats or whatever you want to call it. I think that they'll try and get Chris Middleton and CJ to play a fair bit to start the year and hope to trade them to a contender to try and get them another ring. So, look, I'm fine to take that. When I look at some of these other players that are getting picked up, I think Chris Middleton's probably one of the better players in the 10th round. So.
For sure, mate. Sadiq Bey making his way back from injury there in the last round too. Colin Murray Boyles. Bruce Brown, I like him there in the last round too. Contavious Caldwell-Pope, good with steals. Isaiah Collier there too to dry eyes. I picked up your man, Jock Landale, just given that I think he'll start anyway in Memphis to start the year. Ryan Dunn from Phoenix there, Chris Ball. Your man, Malley, Dylan Brooks with the last pick to Flanders. Lonzo Ball finally gets picked up after his 1 assist game today. We're into our last 2 picks, but before we do, Malley, just casting your eyes over each team outside of your own, who do you think won this draft?
On my own personal taste, I really like the team, and from 19th pick, it's a hard thing to do, but I'm still quite in love with Balls Deep 69's team. I've talked enough on mine, so I might quickly talk on his. Mobley, a perfect pickup there. I would have taken him before, like Şengün. I would have taken him potentially before Amen Thompson. So I think that's a good pickup, and I have no interest in LeBron James behind him. So I think that was, from what he had on the board, his best option. Jalen Johnson as a pairing, I really like that, backing up blocks, field goal percentage, two young guys who are still kind of coming towards their best years. Quickly at 3, I don't mind that. They need him in Toronto. He is basically the engine room of that team. Peyton Pritchard's just going to bang all year, especially if he does as they say they're going to do and put him in the starting lineup. Tobias Harris in the spot where I said, I think maybe on the turn there, maybe even where Pritchard was, where you pick up someone that just does a little bit of everything. And he's looked kind of sprightly and whatnot in this preseason. Tari Eason, obviously, he's a my guy. I know we're going to talk about my guys. I better actually respond to our friend Brano about that. Less impressed with Boner. I don't see anything with him. Keontae George, great, going to have a good start to the season until they heal up. Gary Trent, he actually looked really good in the game the other day. I don't think we've got old Gary Trent. I don't know how good old Gary Trent was. And Kalkbrenner, if you're going to take a rookie, take him late. And when my dart throw is who'd I go? AO. I think Ryan Kalkbrenner's just as good.
Yep. Matrix, in 25 words or less, who won your draft and not you?
Oh, it's me. I won this draft. But there's 2 teams I really like, and it's Carl's and Branos. You've got Trey Young, you've got Pascal Siakam, which we know that I'm super high on. We've got Nikola Vucevic. I think a little bit of a steal. I think that he's being a little bit undervalued with just being old. But we only need him to get through 1 year, and we've expected him to be traded from Chicago for the last 3-4 years. It just hasn't happened yet. Tyler Hero, you've got Norman Powell. Again, accidentally maybe, but a little bit of a handcuff there. And then he starts to get really safe with Aaron Gordon, CJ McCollum very late. You've got Wendell Carter Jr., Klay Thompson extremely late. And then you've got Contavious Caldwell-Pope. Still, honestly, there's nobody really on his team that's not a starter going all the way through, which I think will add some stability. I really like that from Carl's team. And then Brano, I don't ever give him his flowers, but Anthony Davis in there at the 6th pick. As soon as you start to add double doubles, Anthony Davis should start to move up your board. Again, he's got his threes and rebounds in Miles Turner to solidify that. You've got Trey Murphy and Jordan Poole. You've got Ayton, which I think went a little bit late in this draft. Bradley Beal, much the same as CJ McCollum. I think he'll still get his even at his age. Naismith, if you're going to take a punt on an Indiana player, it's fine to be late because they're going to be poo. You've got Keita, and you've got, still taking risks in, DeJounte Murray and Ryan Dunn. So if you find yourself winning the first couple of weeks and you can hold DeJounte Murray through this period, I think you've set yourself in really good stead, because you might be just playing against, somebody that's holding a Joel Embiid or somebody that's holding some injured players. I say that I don't want to hold these injured players because I really want to win. But as soon as I see somebody that's holding 1 injured players, I see my chance of winning rise by 10%. But he might get a really good draw, might be able to play with DeJounte Murray through the first couple of weeks. Then you're 2 weeks closer to him coming back. And we know he's a top 50 guy if he's playing basketball. And right now he's not. Who do you like, Horse? And why is it my team?
That was pretty good, 25 words or less, but I'll give it to you, mate. I'm going to be really short, sharp, and straight to the point.
It's
Malley's. Yeah, no, it's Malley's.
Fuck off.
Oh, yeah, I think he's probably clearly the best team. So I'll give you your flowers, mate. I think you've drafted really well from a really awkward spot at 14. So the Jovic pick there probably would have went later, but I think he's going to provide value there. So that's a really nice pick. Bezelis, really like him. Porter's going to do a lot of everything at Brooklyn. Ty Jerome, fantastic pick that late in the draft. And you got a bit of a Chicago handcuff here, don't you, with the Bezelis, Smith, and Dosunmu? But realistically, your last 2 picks of the draft, they're your waiver wire adds and drops anyway. So you can play with them as you please. Ladies and gentlemen, that's going to do us here at Ball Logic. An hour 20 in. 10 rounds, 20 players. Let us know in the comments below. Who do you think you won and why do you think it was me? Not Matrix, maybe Malley, but probably Horse. Like, subscribe, bell. If you're listening to us on audio, 5-star review. It helps us get out into the algorithm that is NBA fantasy, but also lets people know that there's a bit of banter that we can throw around while we talk NBA knowledge. For tonight, Malley's been kind enough to join us. It's way past his bedtime, so we better let him go. Matrix is only 3 beers into a 10 beers kind of night sort of scenario there in wherever you are in Queensland. I'm the Horse. We'll see you next time. Peace.
Cheerio.